The morning after the night before. Arsenal, eh? What a performance. What performance. Hate to say it because they've really annoyed me all season in the league, just with how they've been and how they've acted, and kind of reverting to really backing on the kind of defensive style, because I prefer my team and teams to go forwards and be attacking. And you know, that's kind of been the conversation obviously over the course of the weekend about this whole roboticness and all that. And I thought Arsenal last night had the balance of being very compact, which Ancelotti said in his interview after the game. They're very good, they're very compact, they're hard to get through, but also having the impetus and the mentality to go forwards and try and win a game. And that comes from the coach allowing you to have some freedom. And I think, look, you're judged on what you win in football, no question, right? It's sport, so first is first, second is last, that famous quote. But if you look for it, this is Mikel Arteta's first ever managerial job. And if you look, Arsenal were soft. They were kind of known as finishing just fourth and just being happy with that, and then kind of finishing outside of that. And they were starting to become a bit of a laughingstock, really. And Arteta, 6 years, has really reinstilled the grittiness, you know, the feistiness, the bite, as well as having a good style of football to go with it. And as I said, first managerial job, it's impressive. It really, really is. And yeah, there's, you want to be remembered, you want to go down as a good manager, you got to win trophies, no question. I'm not saying that, but first job, I think you've got to give him praise. I really, really do. That was a hell of a performance. They've still got to go to the Bernabeu. We know what it's like. Madrid can get one. If they sit back and they just look to just keep Madrid out, they'll be in trouble, because if Madrid get one, yeah, they'll be up for it. So they need to find that balance again of still having the impetus to try and get another one and really, really kill the tie at the Bernabeu. But so impressive. Declan Rice, 2 free kicks. I mean, take a bow, son, eh? Take a bow. Especially the second one for me is just, absolutely swazzed. Absolutely swazzled into the top corner. So, what a night, what a performance. What a performance. I thought that Rice was one of those performances that you have, you know, in Europe. You're kind of Steven Gerrard, Olympiacos, you know, Zidane's against Leverkusen, shit like that. Like, some midfielders have these performances where they just run a game. And I thought that was one of them for him. I was really wanting to see Saka in a game like that, because I really rate Saka and he's still young, and there's still a lot to do, but I think he's a great player, and I really wanted to see him last night in a big Champions League game. I wanted to see all of that Arsenal team and Arteta in a big Champions League game to see what he'd do. And I thought he was frightening. I thought he was causing problems all over the shop. I thought he created everything, and it was a shame when he went off for them, but they still managed to keep it going. So look, as much as I hate to say it, fair play to Arsenal. Absolutely quality performance. You've got to think they'll probably rest and look to kind of just focus on the Bernabeu next week. But in fairness again to Arteta, he's not a guy that gives up. Doesn't seem like to be a guy that gives up. As long as it's still possible to be in the league title hunt, I think he'll still go for it. So yeah, absolutely huge. Inter beat Bayern in another game. I don't know if anyone's seen the goals, I just watched the highlights, but Thuram's little touch into Lautaro Martinez for the first goal, and his finish with the outside of his right foot to send the keeper the wrong way in the first half was stunning. And Italian teams are always difficult. Inter won the league last year. They were really praised for it. They're top of the league this year. They'll be a tough team. You don't want to go up against an Italian team in Champions League knockout phases, quarterfinals, semi-finals. That's always a tough one. And Bayern have not been great. I don't know, Bayern don't have that same feel to them for the last kind of 5 years or so, I would say. In Europe, I kind of always fancy people against Bayern at the moment. You know, they've got Kane, who misses that chance. He hits the post where he should really score. But yeah, I don't know, Bayern aren't really doing it for me. But overall, fair credit to Arsenal. I'm just trying to think if there was anyone else that I thought really performed. Rice and Saka, kind of the two mainstays. Nah, that's about it. Villa PSG tonight, Barca Dortmund. Maybe try and flick in between both of those. I'd quite like to watch both of those games. So yeah, what a performance, Arsenal. Fair play. 3-0. Can they hold out? Can Madrid do something special in the Bernabeu? We'll have to wait till next week in the second leg. See you on the next one.